Welcome to Word Nerds Visualize Your Vocabulary, and where we can turn any SAT word into a picture and remember it. Let's switch that to knife forever. Knife forever. Alright, let's get this started with. Today, we're going to go ahead and do another set of 10 words. Apparently 20 is too long. Let's get this started with. First off, we have enhance. Now, enhance is a verb, and it means to, simple words, upgrade something, to turn something into a better version of itself. Like this water bottle, where if you enhance it, then you could probably give it a few more designs, or in this case, better word storage, and possibly more durability. Now, a synonym to this is aggrandize. Sorry, wrong word. Aggrandize. And how do you remember it? Well, you remember it with this word, enhance. You find out you have the power to enhance anything that you touch with your hands. If you can't think of anything to enhance, well, you gotta go ahead and find something like this 33 flat screen 33-inch flat screen TV, and then you enhance it to a 100-inch flat screen TV. It's just like a movie theater. Our next word we have tactful. Now, tactful is an adjective, and it means to be considerate, shall we say. It means to be able to think of, means to be able to use your empathy and to be able to think about someone else's. When you're tactful, it means you are considerate about the other person, and even if they are terrible cooks, you say their food is pretty good. And let's look at this. You remember with the word tactful. Now, this tack has some stuff, has some food from this terrible chef of a tack, and he's like, oh, yum, chicken, my favorite. How'd you know? And then the old chef is like, finally someone who actually enjoys my food. And then he goes ahead and you're so tactful that you go ahead and even accept his leftovers that you were definitely not going to eat. Our next word is incompatible. Now, incompatible, this is how you spell it, is an adjective. And it means that, well, when two things are incompatible, that means those two things cannot work or do not fit with each other. Look at these. So look at these two brothers. It's their brothers. Pat and Bill, incompatible. And they are all going to be arguing about the same thing. They argue about things all the time. They disagree about everything. If one agrees on something, and then the other will always say it, even if they do secretly agree with it. And with that, even if if their rich dad gave them $1 million each, if they could cooperate with each other for a year, that's probably not going to happen because, well, they're terrible at negotiating. Our next word is precocious. Precocious. Precocious means something that's advanced. Like the precocious orchestra, it means the orchestra that is way more advanced than something. And of course, here you go ahead and you're precocious in the Masters tournaments. Now, what is Masters? It's something that happens every April, except when COVID struck, so they had to postpone it. As of 2013, according to the book, you get $1.44 million if you win it. And this 8-year-old has won the green jacket and a bunch of green wad cash of $1.44 million. And it's sent to Billy Johnson. Now, here's how you remember it. Great green coat cash. Precocious green coat cash. This precocious 8-year-old was able to win the great green coat cash in the Masters tournament. He's the first one to actually ever win it. The youngest one, at least. Alright, our next word is avert. Avert is a verb, and it means to avoid something. And here we go. Now, these twins, you know that birth defect where you're born with basically two heads? Well, a verb is when you vomit and burp at the same time. So you're like, and when your twin goes ahead and keeps burping a lot, it's like, ew, can't you just go ahead and turn away when you do that? It's disgusting. And like, well, too bad, so sad. It's not like you have control over this arm. Actually, I do have control over this arm, and they literally have a little arm battle. At least that's how I remember parts of things. Alright, our next word is suppress. Well, now, suppress is a verb, and it means to go ahead and nullify, make something null. Like when you're suppressing some sensors, that means those sensors are practically useless now, or at least they're functional, but they aren't able to feel anything because there's something that makes them useless. There's this miniature nurse who goes ahead and starts going ahead, giving you some soup and rest to your little brachiola, whatever this throat thing is called. And now they said, now all you need is soup and rest and TLC to be able to soothe that little throat of yours. So you're suppressing coughs. That's great. All right, our next word is haughty. Haughty. Now, haughty sounds a lot like haughty, as in like this word right here. Now, first off, here's how you remember it. You remember it with haughty. So there's this teenage girl who goes ahead and wants an autograph from the model, and the model says okay, and then she takes the chance to go ahead and ask her about tips on how to become an actual modeler, like the real ones, supermodels. Well, she says, well, you gotta be a hottie, like me. My advice, stay in school and get a good grade so you can at least be successful. Only the beauty people can actually go ahead and do things like this. Alright, our next word is sagacious. Now, sagacious is an adjective, and it means to be very smart, insightful, So if you're insightful about something, well, that means you're smart and you can think and you infer things really well. It basically means you have really good analyzing skills. So you're going to be given the job at a vampire prison, and you can choose between two shifts. So they say, so did you want the day shift or day shift before he even says night shift? So he's like day shift because vampires hate the day and they sleep during the day, so they don't burn up. Well, how very insightful for you. How very sagacious of you. All right, you start every morning at 8 o'clock and you end your shift at 2 o'clock. All right, that's great. All right, our next word is evanescent. Now, evanescent is an adjective, and it means something that's not going to last for very long. When something evanescent, it's not going to last very long. Okay, here's how you remember it. Evan and ascent. Evanescent. This guy's Evan. He has a pretty serious crush on this cute girl inside math class. And he realizes her perfume came into his nose. He knows that it's going to be evanescent. Wow. And so he smells it and takes it in as much as possible. Lol. R-O-F-L. Our next word is opulent. Now, opulent is an adjective, and it means to be very lavish, as in showing things in ways of money. You are opulent, and you decide to go ahead and borrow a mop from someone else, your rich neighbors. The maid gives you this mop that has a lot of diamonds encrusted on it, a gold stick at the end, and you're actually surprised you hadn't had the temptation to actually try to steal a little chunk of it. So you go ahead, decide to do that, and you have a little brush here, and he says, well, here's the mopulent. You give it back to the maid of the rich house because you're too poor to afford a maid. And that's it. That's Werner's Visualize Your Vocabulary. Make a picture of it. It'll last longer is his motto. So I hope to see you guys in the next episode, and so until next time, non out, peace. Bye-bye.